Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening po sa lahat ng nakikinig po.
Hello to all our viewers from here and around the world.
Napakaganda ng ating talentema ngayong hapon ito.
Isang mainit na pagbati po sa inyong lahat.
Well, friends,
welcome to the Bridges Show.
I'm very happy to be here, and I think it should be a really interesting and fun topic.
But there are things you want to learn. So I wanna take it from there and then I listen to them.
Meron silang mga mitiin upang maging makabuluhan pa ang pagiging Katoliko. Lalong-lalo na sa susunod na henerasyon.
Sa akin po, sa mga kabataan, use competence as a basis.
In real life, hindi naman talaga tayo tumitigil sa buhay. Kailangan talaga tuloy lang ang buhay kahit anong challenges natin.
Palawan, Cebu, Baguio City, Atty. Dwight, pati La Union. So we are saying that revenge travel is real.
Mas kailangan natin na i-share ang hiwaga ng sinin sa mga tao.
Food and health should go hand in hand. So yan ang gusto namin paratingin sa gobyerno.
So if you will just devote your life teaching, hindi ka yayaman sa pera, pero yayaman ka sa tao.
Siyempre, ang pinakamaganda po naman sa ating universidad ay yung talagang natuturuan po tayo kung paano maging mabuting tao.
Happy anniversary to Bridges! Here at Bridges, we build bridges of faith, bridges of hope, and bridges of love.
A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman. This afternoon, we will witness a talk by one of the epitome of women empowerment, success, but with a heart. Join us this afternoon as we welcome you to this session of Bridges entitled Women Leading the Workplace with Cara Leadership. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Melanie Turingan, currently the Assistant Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Letters and the Auditor of the UST Graduate School Alumni Association Incorporated. This Bridges episode is brought to you by the UST Alumni Association Incorporated and the UST Communications Bureau. This is episode 8 of season 3, sponsored by the UST Graduate School Alumni and Grants Association, Incorporated, and Mrs. Nilda Pedrosa Hernit, former Councilor of Palol Leyte. And my co-host this afternoon is a fellow artlets, Dr. Frederick Ray, or Dr. Burns, an alumnus of the UST Faculty of Arts and Letters, Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, and PhD in Political Science, and currently a faculty member and a research associate of the Research Center for Social Sciences and Education. Good afternoon, Dr. Ray. I am so glad to be with you this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dr. Mel, and good afternoon po sa guest natin, Dr. G. Thank you so much for having me here. And I am so excited po to be a part of this engagement. I can vividly remember when we were at the onset of our careers as teaching professionals and researchers. We were young and hopeful, and now I am absolutely delighted to see you, your victories and triumphs, nearing the fullness of life and the fullness of a woman. Our previous episode of Bridges a week ago gave us a relevant, inspiring, and an enlightening insights about the Fourth Industrial Revolution. We were provided with the insights, landscape, and how the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, the integration of the physical and the biological worlds, among others, and the challenges that comes along with it, that comes along with the emergence of frontier technologies and how we can cope with these challenges. Today's episode, we go into another interesting and perfectly timed topic as we celebrate the International Women's Month this March. we bring to the fore women as leaders. Dr. Mel, may I ask you how you feel about being a woman and a leader as an experienced administrator and now the Assistant Dean of the College of Arts and Letters, or the Faculty of Arts and Letters?
It's very overwhelming, Dr. Burns, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity given to me and the trust vested in me. I am so proud to be a woman leader, and I would like to share with you and everyone that the Faculty of Arts and Letters at the moment is headed by 3 empowered women, from the Dean, the Assistant Dean, and the Faculty Secretary. So we are all women, and we're proud to run one of the biggest colleges in the University of Santo Tomas.
That's perfect, ma'am. We truly love our women, celebrate our women, and we wish you all the best in your new assignments. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
And, before we move on to our show, friends, allow me to seek your assistance not to forget to share and like and subscribe our show to our UST Thomasian Alumni Community YouTube channel.
So yes, as we mentioned, we have a very interesting topic to discuss this afternoon: women leading the workplace with CARA leadership. So without further ado, please allow me to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon. Dr. G is actually a very familiar face in Bridges, being one of its regular hosts. So Dr. Giselle Legaspi Barrion finished her Doctor of Philosophy in Organizational Development and Planning at the Southeast Asia Interdisciplinary Development Institute School of Organization Development. She completed her Master in Business Administration degree, cum laude, from the University of Santo Tomas Graduate School. She is currently an internationally certified management consultant. Kaya mo yon, Dr. Burns. She is also a seasoned management and organization development consultant, resource speaker, and corporate trainer. Currently, the managing director and chief management and organizational development consultant of Great Learnings and Beyond Management Consultancy. Dr. Legaspi Barrion is also a faculty member at the University of Santo Tomas College of Commerce and Business Administration and the Southeast Asia Interdisciplinary Development Institute Graduate School of Organizational Development. In 2018, our distinguished speaker for this afternoon has released a book entitled "You Can Do It: The 6 Keys to Personal Development, a guidebook for people at work," published and distributed by Central Books. Dr. Barrion is the first Philippine representative to win Mrs. Tourism Universe in 2019, a major winner. And she is also a media resource person, having herself available in so many topics, both in TV and in radio. And as part of her other initiatives, Dr. Barrion founded Lapis at Catechism for the Less Privileged Children across the country and a founding member of Lead with Love Care Group. Dr. G is also the founder of CARA Leadership, the Art of Leading with Love. So once again, friends, may I welcome to Bridges, Dr. G.
Hi. Hi, good afternoon, everyone, to all our watchers right now in Bridges. And of course, thank you, Dr. Burns or Dr. Ray, as well as Dr. Mel for that generous introduction. So, impisa pa lang tayo, pero doon pa lang sa mga host po natin, nakikita na natin yung CARA, no? Kasi generous yung introduction niyo sa akin, Dr. Mel. So, thank you for that.
Grabe po, Dr. G, ang hirap basahin, ang haba, pero talagang very deserving po kayo.
Oo. Thank you rin kay Mami Ida kasi nilagay niya lahat ng nasa profile ko. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you, madam.
everyone. Good evening po. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Welcome to the show po, Dr. G.
Thank you,
You
Dr.
really
Ray.
inspire us po.
Dr. G, how does it feel po? Ngayon po, you are the speaker. You used to be the host.
Ang maganda dito, na-experience ko kung ano yung pakiramdam to be a guest. So I would become more empathic, and at the same time, I'll be I know now how to better host next time. To be a better host. Even better host next time kasi alam ko na kung paano maging guest ng Bridges. Ganito pala yung medyo may konting pressure. Okay? But happy pressure, no? Positive pressure. Ayan. Kasi maraming nanonood sa atin. So dapat lang kailangan may konting pressure. Kasi pag masyado kang relax, hindi rin maganda yun eh. You will not perform at your best. Di ba?
Dr. G, can you share us some of your thoughts or insights po? You had been with UST for quite a while.
Yes.
You have rooted gracefully in the institution. You have established yourself as a scholar and a practicing professional. What do you enjoy most and love sa UST po that makes you stay?
Actually, Dr. Ray, there are a lot of things that I love about the school, and there are many things that I am very grateful for in UST. Just to have a brief background about myself. Before I entered UST Graduate School, I used to study my bachelor's degree. I had it in a state university. But at that time, sabi ko, gusto ko pag nag-work na ako and I had saved enough, gusto ko mag-aral sa isang top university for my further studies. Okay, pag nag-pursue ako ng MBA ko or ng doctorate ko. So yun ang ginawa ko, no? Right after college, nag-work ako, nag-ipon ako, and luckily, okay, nakapag-save ng enough and I was able to enter UST. At that's one of the things that I never regretted in my life, entering University of Santo Tomas Graduate School in particular. Kasi ang daming magagandang memories, and not only that, but milestones as well in my personal and even in my professional career. Medyo malalim yung hugot doon. Bakit? Kasi when I was still starting as an officer back then, during my corporate years, kasi right now I'm a full-fledged consultant, management consultant, while at the same time I'm doing part-time teaching in the university, in UST. No? During that time, in my mid-20s, okay, I'm a striving corporate professional. Gusto ko maging officer and then gusto ko maging manager at a young age. Kasi nung panahon natin, di ba, pag naging manager ka in your 20s, malaking accomplishment na yon. Dahil nung araw, ang mga nagiging manager usually nasa 30s. Di ba? And at that time, I was also studying my master's degree. I was taking my master's degree in UST. So pinagsasabay ko siya while having my corporate career. I'm trying to climb up the corporate ladder. Alam mo yon? So naging memorable sa akin yung UST kasi feeling ko, naging passport ko siya for success. Why? Because when I transferred to another company at that time, aside from the fact that I bring with me the training experience from another organization, the work and the training experience coming from another organization, I kind of felt at that time that one of my passports then was having the USTGS in my curriculum vitae. That's a trivia. Yes, having that USTGS in my curriculum vitae, because during those years, seldom lang ang nagkakaroon ng master's degree. Okay, so kapag may master's degree ka and you're not in the academia but in the corporate world, ano yun, plus factor yun. Kasi usually ang nagma-master's degree nasa academe. So kapag nagma-master's degree ka na nasa corporate world, ang laking ano nun, ang laking bonus yun or maganda, nakakapagpaganda ng credentials mo before. So nakuha ako in my first managerial job in just my mid-20s, I guess, at that time. And yung mga kalaban ko noon, nung naalala ko during the job interview, mga seasoned training managers, kasi training manager yung position na yun na in-applyan ko sa isang sikat na real estate company owned by one of the richest tycoons in the Philippines. Okay? So, nung time na yon, nung nag-a-apply ako, may mga kalaban ako coming from other companies. Tapos mga training managers na talaga sila. Tapos ako, training officer lang ako. And yet, ako yung nakuha. Okay, ako nakuha at the rate that I wanted. Hindi dahil, mas mura to kasi mas bata. Hindi ganun eh. At the rate that I wanted. And I felt na malaking bagay yung pag-aaral ko sa UST because it gave me the confidence and at the same time, ang gandang boost niya sa credential. It's a top university and at the same time, seldom, like what I've said, seldom lang during those years ang nagma-masters. Okay, so isa yun sa mga fulfillment ko on a professional level. On a personal level naman, most of my lifelong friends, I had it during my time in UST, graduate school. Yes. And up until now, they are still my very good friends. Not only good, it's an understatement, but very good friends. And I'm sure they're watching right now. Kasi iba sa kanila, taga-UST rin. Nagtatrabaho sa UST and happen to also study their master's degree in UST. So nanonood sila ngayon.
I completely agree to that, ma'am. Yung university po natin is filled with compassion and kindness. And
yes, sir.
I can really prove that mula po sa iba't ibang landscapes or kind of life na napuntahan ko, UST really is filled with love.
Yes.
Sa tingin niyo po,
talaga, memorable talaga ang UST para sa akin. And up until now, di ba, nagtuturo pa rin ako sa UST. UST ang gusto ko na kung magtuturo man ako sa isang university, it's UST that I would love to share my experience to the next generation, of course.
Nakakatuwa pong pakinggan, no? Na kasi po ako talagang from UST from the beginning until now. Na nakakatawa pong pakinggan kayo, Doctor, na kahit sa labas, no, na parang binabalikan pa rin at babalik ka pa din sa institusyon na talagang nagdala sa atin kung saan tayo nandoon ngayon. At kasi kami po ni Dr. Burns, pareho po kami nagtatrabaho sa UST full-time. Yes. So talagang malaking utang na loob po namin sa institusyon. At nakakatuwa pong mapakinggan kayo ngayon na practicing outside and within the university, sharing with us how proud you are that you have been reared and nurtured by this loving university, Dr. G. So thank you for...
Ang dami, Doc Mel, Doc Ray. Ang daming dapat ipagpasalamat sa UST eh. Kasi hindi sila nagkukulang ng support. Na alam nyo yan, even after several years had gone by, dyan pa rin sila nakaalalay sa'yo. Imagine, kailan pa yung gumraduate ka ng graduate school sa MBA? Kailan pa yon? Diba? Ilang years ago? Siguro almost 20 years, 15 to 20 years ago. Diba? Pero nung 2019, they gave me an award. Diba? I'm not sure if it was part of my profile, pero I became part of the roster of the Distinguished Tomasian Alumni. And nakakatuwa kasi kahit matagal na yung nakalipas na panahon, hindi pa rin nakakalimot ang UST na magbigay ng recognition do sa mga students nila. Yun.
Well-deserving naman po kayo unang-una, Dr. G.
Thank you, Doc Mel. Thank you, Doc Ray.
Completely agree po. Sa tingin ko po, nabanggit na ni Doc G yung mga iba
good memories.
Memories, yes.
Yes.
And truly po na hindi tayo mauubusan ng mga
sinabi mo pa, Doc Ray,
masasaya at magagandang kwento.
Yes.
Sa akin po, as a young professional noon and yung even as a worker sa UST, lagi nga po silang nakaalalay. Yung kindness talaga.
Kindness.
Yung understanding na never, hindi ko maalala yung panahon na medyo nag-no yung UST, na nag-decline yung UST. UST strives to be an institution that allows you to grow, to achieve your fullness. And
Dr. Ray, naalala ko yung nilagay mo dun sa ano, 'di ba? Competence, 'di ba? Kasi part ng value natin yun yung commitment.
yes po, ma'am.
And I think yung value na yun, ano yun eminent yun evident siya, not just in the website but to everyone It became part of our culture, and even the way we nurture our graduates, our alumni, nakikita pa rin siya up until now. Very felt. Hindi lang siya, kumbaga, display lang sa website, kundi nararamdaman mo talaga Nararamdaman mo talaga.
And Dr. Burns, UST was able to provide us not only with quality education, but lifelong learning and lifetime friends. And
yes, yun ang mahalaga doon. Lifetime
Agree
friends.
to that, ma'am.
So, let's start na po the ball rolling. So we will be discussing about the project of Dr. G. So may I begin, Dr. Dr. Burns?
Go ahead po, ma'am.
So, ma'am, can you share with us and the watchers from our Facebook live stream what CARA leadership is all about?
Ayan. I'll just give a brief background lang, Dr. Mel, about CARA, because I am pretty sure that you would be able to come up with a lot of interesting questions about CARA leadership. So CARA, you might be wondering, ano ba talaga tong CARA leadership? So from the word CARA, it has a lot of meaning depending on the country, but in Latin, it's derived from the word carus, which means beloved. Okay, it means beloved. Now, yung CARA kasi, di ba nga, nakalagay dun sa ano natin, I'm not sure kung na-capture yun, but it's the art of leading with love. The art of leading with love, so that people would be able to understand and probably appreciate it better. It's important that for us to be able to appreciate yung definition ng CARA is to differentiate it together or alongside other leadership styles. Like ano ba yung mga popular? We have the servant leadership. Usually sa churches, servant leadership, diba? It's about serving others first. Dapat nauuna yung iba bago ikaw. And there's also in organization, there's transformational leadership, lalo na kapag merging, acquisition. Ayan, it's calling for transformational leaders. It's about leading with change or leading for change. Okay, and then yung CARA leadership naman on the other hand, it's actually similar to transformational and servant, except that ang CARA, it's more of giving others, okay, giving others without expecting anything in return. So it's about the concept of giving. Kumbaga yung interaction style mo, yung leading style mo, it's about giving, but you do not expect anything in return. Kasi pwedeng servant ka, you prioritize others first before you, but you're not exactly the CARA leader that you're not gonna expect anything in return. When you're CARA, you give, but you do not expect. That's CARA leader. Now, it's an abbreviation, okay, of 4 dimensions because it's a product, Dr. Burns and Doc Bell, of my dissertation. There are 10 dimensions in that dissertation. Di ba sa mga dissertation, medyo may pagka-technical lang po ng konti mga manonood, pero just to laymanize it, yung mga behavioral indicators, like for example, ng giving or generous personality, there are 10. And of course, there's a literature related to it where we base our study from. If you're familiar, I'm sure that most of our viewers, most of our listeners are familiar with mga Wharton personalities, like for example, Adam Grant. Si Dr. Burns probably na-encounter mo sa social sciences ata si Dr. Burns, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Burns, baka na-encounter mo siya. Kasi si Dr. Adam Grant, although not sociology or not related pa rin sa social science, which is organizational psychology, nag-came up siya ng best-selling book entitled Give and Take. Give and Take. Dun sa book niya na Give and Take, may binanggit siya na 3 main interaction style ng tao. You have the giver, the taker, and the matcher. So, saan tayo doon? Okay, usually, meron tayong personality na combination ng dalawa or maaaring all of the 3 or meron tayong prominent na isa. So yung giver, from the word itself, You give, you do not expect. Pero may tinatawag din siya ng matcher. Yung matcher naman, tit for tat. I'll scratch your back if you'll scratch mine. Yon, that's matcher. Kumbaga, I'll help you if you'll help me. Yung taker naman on the other hand, okay, before I'll help you, let's see kung ano makukuha ko sa taong to. That's taker. So yun yung in-identify ni Adam Grant, ni Dr. Adam Grant. Oh. You have a giver, a taker, and a matcher. But in his study, he just focused more on the interaction style. Interaction style, paano tayo makirelate sa tao. But he didn't focus on the leadership aspect of the giving component. So yun yung kinapitalize ko. Yun yung tiningnan kong angulo dun sa study ko. Then I came up with the 10 prominent behavioral indicators of a giving personality based on his study kasi may mga scientific basis siya of a giving personality. May mga in-identify siya ng mga behavioral indicators. So kumuha tayo doon and we tested it out. No? Now, for the appreciation of everybody, yung Kara kasi, ang ibig sabihin niya is charitable, appreciative, responsive, and authentic. Okay, it so happened that when we defended it, and it arose actually, it was the one who surfaced na strongest given na gumawa tayo ng mga quantitative analysis. Okay, yun yung nag-arise na strongest yung 4 na yun. Initially, hindi ganun yung pangalan niya eh. Pero yun yung pinakamalapit. Like for example, yung charitable. Initially, we call it in the dissertation study, sharing of talents and efforts to others. So eventually, of course, kailangan mo siyang tingnan ano nga ba yung sharing talents and efforts? Baka masyado siyang vague, masyado siyang malawak, hanggang na-improve siya, naging Kara. Alright, naging Kara. So yung Kara leadership, it's about being charitable. When you say charitable, you're sharing something that you have. You're not exactly giving up everything for someone, but it's about sharing lang a portion or a part of what you have. Not exactly monetarial. It could be effort. It could be time. It could be any resources. Okay? And then appreciative. Yung acknowledging people, complimenting them, like yung ginawa ni Doc Mel kanina, being generous with compliment or with praises, even si Dr. Burns, ganun din. Hindi sa point na nagbobolahan ha, but it's about, kaya nga ang Kara may A sa dulo authentic. Diba? Authentic yun ang pinakamahalaga doon kasi it's futile to become charitable, to be appreciative, to be responsive if a person is not authentic. Kaya yun yung niya pang-encapsulate Diba? Yung pagiging authentic ng person. And of course, responsive. Wag natin kalimutan yung responsive. Binanggit ko to before, yung pagiging responsive, isa sa mga manifestation ng love yan yung respondability, ability to respond to others' needs. Okay? Responsive is being there, being a good listener, always having an open arm, an open door for someone who is in need. That is being responsive. Okay, so that's Kara. So charitable, appreciative, responsive, and authentic. Hindi ko na muna siya i-empty, hindi ko na muna siya i-unravel lahat because I know that you would be able to help me untangle it as we go along.
Yes, Pam. Impressive po yung mga deductions na nabuo po ninyo. And while listening to your insights po, I was suddenly reminded of this a little bit different stream of consciousness, but very much similar sa sinasabi po ninyo, a kind of a transcendental leadership that a kind of leadership that seeks no interest sa return, but instead gusto lang natin na gumanda or mag-improve yung tao. But there is also this mutualistic kind of leadership na scratch your back, you scratch mine. And the other one is parasitic leadership. And we completely agree po na as professionals, we were taught by UST, built by UST to put value doon sa uri ng leadership na transcendental.
Yes, sir.
Actually, Dr. Burns, ito yung sinabi mo, no? Yung Kara ni Ma'am, very Thomistic, no?
Yes.
Kasi
yes.
especially the term authentic no? Kasi yung pagiging charitable, yung pagiging responsible, yung pagiging appreciative, parang makikita naman natin yan eh. Pero yung authenticity, yun yung parang mahirap mabigyan ng kumbaga maipakita or malaman talaga kung totoo o hindi. Kaya alam mo, Dr. Burns, nai-interest tuloy akong basahin yung dissertation ni Dr. G dahil dun sa Kara. So,
yes,
para this afternoon naman, mas ma-explore pa natin yan.
And speaking of exploring po, I think we are now given the opportunity to go a little bit deeper doon sa idea po ng Kara by asking our guest kung ano nga po ba yung distinct character ng Kara and how it is different from other kinds of leadership.
Kagaya nung nabanggit ko kanina, Dr. Burns, no, yung Kara kasi, nagfo-focus siya sa aspect ng giving. Okay? Giving in terms of being appreciative, responsive, and charitable as well as authentic. Now, ang Kara kasi, na nag-arise tayo sa Kara because, okay, ganito siya, i-share ko lang din po. Isa sa mga inspiration ko, marami akong inspiration po, Dr. Burns and Dr. Mel sa Kare. When I was in a province, at I think Batangas, may lumapit sa akin na pare. Sabi niya, G, tulungan mo nga ako. Paano ko ba ma-increase ang engagement ng mga tao dito? Kasi most of our stores are being operated by volunteers. Okay, so you know naman, pag volunteers, diba, they're not getting anything. Some of them siguro allowance-based. So yung mga stores nila, somehow, nakakatulong yun sa simbahan, diba? Dahil marami ring expenses ang church. So somehow nakakatulong din yung stores and it's being run by volunteers. However, they lack the engagement, they lack the commitment. So that gave that inspiration, that bolt of inspiration inside me. Nasabi ko, bakit hindi ako mag-come up since naghahanap ako ng dissertation topic that has something to do with increasing the engagement and commitment of people, particularly of volunteers. So, yun yung yun yung naging inspiration ko nung una, hanggang sa nag-evolve siya. So, it rooted out from the volunteerism concept, yung Kara. Kaya yung respondents ko sa study ko, Dr. Burns and Dr. Mel, are actually volunteers from churches. So, sila yung mga naging respondents ko. And yun ang kagandahan sa Kara kasi tinitingnan natin yung paano nakaka-relate yung mga non-profit organization, how were they able to step up even during the pandemic despite the fact na, alam niyo yun, nung pandemic nakita ko na maraming mga empleyado, even if they are paid by the organization, hindi sila pumapasok ng organization, hindi sila pumapasok physically, they prefer to work remotely. Whereas itong mga volunteers sa churches, magugulat ka, pumapasok, marami sa kanila halos everyday pa, and they're not paid. Diba? What was the inspiration behind? So I'm curious. I wanted to find out. Diba? What is the reason behind? And I happened to read this book of Adam Grant, na-inspire ako. Tingnan nga natin kung may concept dito ang generosity, kung may kinalaman ng generosity dito, because they're not getting anything. They're not getting anything there. But they are definitely getting something out of what they do. Diba? Kung ano yun ang gusto kong malaman.
Dr. Mel, please allow me to take this opportunity, ma'am, na tanungin. Napakarami po nating mga inspiring women ngayon, really making waves sa politika. And pwede niyo po bang bigyan kami ng idea how will Kara provide us the tools or the mindset po on how we can build a more upright and humane political culture through our women?
Yung concept kasi ng Kara is merong authenticity component, Dr. Mel. Hindi lang siya about generosity, 'di ba? So if ever, regardless if you want to enter politics or you want to climb up the corporate ladder, kasi 'di ba, kung minsan tinuturing ding may pagka-mapolitika minsan ng ang corporate ladder, especially when you go in the upper echelon, di ba? As you go higher in the management level, di ba? Nagkakaroon din ng, kumbaga, nagkakaroon din ng realm of politics or concept of politics. So regardless whether it's really the politics in the government or in the corporate world, mahalaga yung authenticity in leading people. Hindi lang ginagawa yung isang bagay just to earn their respect, just to earn their vote, or just to earn their love, but you're doing it for them, for their good, diba? You're not perfect. Hindi naman sinasabing ang Kara is about perfection eh. But ang mindset mo is you do this because you want to help others out. Ang Kara kasi, Dr. Mel and Dr. Burns, it believes in the ripple effect. It believes in the ripple effect. Naalala ko yung nabasa kong verse yesterday, no? May isang nagsabing saint, ang sabi niya, I cannot create great changes in the world, but I can cast a stone in the ocean and create a ripple effect. If I'm not mistaken, that's Mother Teresa. So in the same principle, ganon din ang Kara. Ang Kara, ang aim niya is to have a ripple effect. Kung meron mang ine-expect ang isang Kara leader na something that will return back to him or her, it's the ripple effect of kindness or generosity. Maybe not directly towards her or not going back to her, but to others. Kasi ang Kara rin, meron siyang limitation eh. Ang limitation niya is if you keep on giving to someone and that person ended up being too dependent on you, that would already be your trigger. Ibig sabihin, hindi naman stop being a Kara, but it's about time to also share that time and effort to others, to redirect your attention to others. Kasi kung nakikita mo yung tao, yung spirit of Kara nawawala sa kanya, nagsa-stop lang sa kanya, kasi all he or she do, or all he or she does is just to simply accept and accept and accept, walang ripple effect, then it's about time to also share that or redirect your focus to other beneficiaries of your goodness or your generosity.
Very well said, ma'am. Actually po, Dr. Burns, Dr. G, yung Kara kasi, in other words, Kara means face, no? And you keep on mentioning about the authenticity. I guess it really shows on someone's face if or she is authentic and true. So, kumbaga parang it's not because of the words you speak or the things you do. Nafe-fake kasi yun eh. Pero yung sincerity through the face and your eyes, talagang people would be able to see that you are really true and serving. Diba po? Kasi it multiplies. Sabi nga niya yun, Sir Ripple. So it multiplies. Kindness multiplies, your goodness multiplies. And that's what Kara is for us.
Tsaka yung consistency rin, Doc Mel and Doc Burns, ng actions mo and words. Kasi may tao na they're not really gifted with a beautiful, yung Kara. I mean, all of us are beautiful in the eyes of God. But you know what I'm trying to say? Kumbaga, may mukhang hindi mabait, but actually they're really kind people. They're really kind people. It so happen lang na ganun lang talaga yung face nila. Mukha silang mataray, mukha silang masungit. But actually, they're kind people when you talk to them, di ba? But it's more of, pero nakukuha ko yung sinasabi ni Dr. Mel, kumbaga manifestation yan, yung paano mo i-handle yung sarili mo eh. And it has something to do with consistency of your thoughts, your feelings, with your actions and your words. Di ba? Kumbaga, in sync siya or may coherence. And I think that's authenticity eh. Diba? Kung ano yung iniisip mo, ano nararamdaman mo, somehow yun yung nagre-reflect. Diba? Yun yung nagre-reflect sa'yo. And even if the person is not around, the same person pa rin yung pinapakita mo, whether that person is not around. Right?
Very true, ma'am.
Yes. Mel, go ahead with the next question po.
Dr. G was able to enlighten us already about her inspiration, no, with regard to how Kara was established. So basically, am I right, Dr. G, that is really experiential, no? So when you were able to immerse yourself towards volunteerism, that's when you really had this chance or this thought of conceptualizing Cara.
Yes, Doc Mel, totoo. Yung
So
idea
many-
ng volunteerism yung isa sa mga naging inspirations natin eh.
Are there any other inspirations, ma'am, that led to the establishment of Cara?
Of course, yung tradition natin, Dr. Mel, di ba, ano tayo, yung volunteerism kasi nakikita natin sa churches, actually, it evolved from our core value as Filipinos, yung bayanihan spirit. Di ba? Pag nakikita natin yung mga libro natin, lalo na nung elementary, palaging dinidiscuss yun ng mga social studies teachers natin back then, 'di ba? Yung spirit of bayanihan. Kasi talagang kumbaga as Filipinos, it's part of our sistema. It's part of our culture, our values. So itong pagiging volunteer sa mga churches, sa organization, dala na lang yan ang naging tradisyon natin ng core values natin as Filipinos. Yun. So madami pa tayong pinanghuhugutan ng inspiration. Well, aside from that, syempre I'm a management consultant din. So malaking bagay yung Cara leadership kasi maraming organizations ang problema nila eh. Paano nila i-involve yung mga tao? Like, aside dun sa priest na friend na sinabi ko sa inyo kanina na nagtanong sa akin paano niya involve ang mga volunteers niya, even yung mga private organizations na nakakausap ko, no, minsan nagiging challenge nila yung ganyan, paano nila papastay ang tao, how can they make people stay? Ang ganda naman ng benefits namin na binibigay, ang ganda ng compensation, how come they're still leaving the organization, ang taas ng attrition, may mga ganon, di ba? So, what went wrong? What could have been done better? So there must be a leadership style that would work for them. And one of them, maybe not the perfect formula, but one of them is Cara.
Thank you so much, Ma'am. Speaking of marami,
yes.
Before we
pa.
Go to a break, I was suddenly reminded po yung nabanggit niyo na bayanihan. And we are looking forward this collective conscience na mabuo pa po natin siya, we can forge it and we can amplify it for us to be connected to each other. At speaking of marami, mga kaibigan, yung mga nanonood po natin ngayon, hayaan niyo po muna na mag-break po muna tayo para mag-freshen up yung ating guest. And we will be coming back with more meaningful and powerful insights. Maraming salamat po. See you in a bit.
Stay tuned. So welcome back, Dr. Burns, Dr. G.
Good afternoon. Welcome back.
Yes, ma'am. Talaga pong lumalalim yung ating mga usapan at lalong nabibigyan ng liwanag. Any reactions po, Ma'am Mel, doon po sa mga insights na ibinahagi sa atin ni Dr. G?
Actually po, Dr. Burns, yung kalahati pa lang po ng nag-intro pa lang si Dr. G, ang dami ko nang nakuha na mga thoughts, no? With just the 4 words, no? Yung Cara lang, napakadami nang pumapasok sa isip ko na indeed napakaswerte natin ngayong araw na to at tayo ang pinagpalang maging host at makinig kay Dr. G.
Okay, mga kaibigan, we are back. And let us continue our conversation po sa part 2 ng episode na ito. Let me first ask the question, ma'am, sa second part. Sa tingin niyo po, Ma'am G, paano po natin ma-maintain and at the same time ma-introduce yung spirit ng giving, yung spirit ng kindness, ng responsibility or responsiveness. Responsiveness and yung spirit ng authenticity sa mga organizations po natin.
Okay. Sir Burns, maganda yung tanong nyo, no? Magandang concept ang Kara, pero ang tanong, magiging successful ba siya sa organization? 'Di ba? Napakahalaga ng role ng isang leader to make Kara or any programs successful in the organization, be it a private or a non-profit organization or a government institution. Napakahalaga ng leadership kasi sila talaga yung magli-lead ng isang intervention sa organization or sa company. So kailangan meron silang commitment and they also lead by example. And at the same time, dapat align sila doon sa culture. Kasi once na inintroduce mo ang konsepto ng Kara leadership sa organization, dapat yung mga programa na gagawin. For example po, no, since mas ako sa private organizations and sa non-profit, sa private organizations, ang ginagawa kadalasan po kasi kapag halimbawa mag-i-introduce ka ng mga leadership program, unang-una sa lahat, kailangan yung sa human resources pa lang. People management and development kasi ang human resources, ang HR Sila ang nagdadala ng mga tao, 'di ba? Although ang HR talent, ang HR skills, hindi siya para lang sa HR department. It has to be across the organization. Kasi yung mga line managers, for example, marketing manager, sales manager, lahat yan dapat may HR skill pa rin. Nag-recruit pa rin ng tao yan, nag-train. Pero ang champion, pagdating sa people management skills, dapat si HR. Siya yung champion. Siya yung in charge sa pag-train ng mga tao, pag-coach, etc. And at the same time, the HR must have good relationship with the top management. Kasi pag strong ang relationship ng dalawa, any programs in the organization will fly. Kapag strong ang relationship or maganda ang working relationship ng human resource at ng top management, or kung in case naman ng non-profit, like for example administrators and human resource, mas mag-work out ang any kinds of intervention, like introducing a Kara leadership culture in the company. Because Kara leadership is not just a leadership style, but it's also a way of life. It's a culture. It's a culture because it has to be embedded not only to the leaders but also to everyone in the company for it to fly, for it to become fruitful or effective. Kasi like ako, tinuturo ko ang Kara ngayon sa mga private organizations. In fact, may isang telco company na madalas kumukuha sa akin, pang-batch 4 na nila. Pang-batch 4 na nila this month ng Kara Leadership Program, and even yung mga staff nila, isasama nila doon sa training. Initially, we've just trained their heads, their managers. Pero ngayon, even yung mga individual contributors nila, yung mga ibang staff nila, na key staff or key individual contributors, isasama nila doon sa training program na yon because they want to embed Kara leadership in their way of life. So minsan, maaaring maaaring ang approach is top-down, minsan naman down to top or upside down and upside down, tama. So depende yan kung ano yung nangyayari ngayon sa organization. Kasi may mga organization na napaka-strong ng leaders nila sa taas. May iba naman na very consensual, kumukuha sila ng opinion sa baba. Tapos kung ano yung maririnig nilang opinion sa baba, yun yung babaguhin ng nakakataas. Okay? So it has to be both ways. Kara must not just be a leadership style, but it has to be a culture.
Kara should be a way of life.
It has to be a way of life, exactly. Kasi kahit sa succession planning, di ba, naririnig natin yung value ng succession planning, di ba? Ilalagay mo yung component nun kasi part ng people development mo yan Kahit staff level yan. Pero kung nakikita mo kung Kara leader, ang isang leader, ang incumbent, 'Di ba? Tinitingnan mo siya as a future leader. So dapat tine-develop mo rin siya maging kara kahit staff level pa siya. So kahit anong level 'yan, dapat tinuturo na yung concept na 'yon, yung kultura na 'yon. Kung gusto ng organization 'yon. But kung ayaw nila ng giving culture, nasa sa kanila 'yon, 'di ba?
In relation to what you mentioned, no, na kung gusto ng
Kung
organization.
gusto ng organization magkaroon ng giving culture. Kaya nga ako, Doc Mel and Doc Ray, sa umpisa pa lang, pag may mga client engagements ako, sinasabi ko na sa umpisa, when you talk about Kara, it's about generosity. But we're not just talking about monetarial. Kasi may mga organizations na allergic sila pag generosity, di ba? Hindi lahat amenable doon or open about it. Pero kapag sinabi mong Kara, it's about generosity not only in terms of monetarial but your talent. Itong ginagawa po natin. This is generosity of our time, of our effort to the institution. This is already a good example, a consummate example of what a Kara is. Nagbibigay ka, nagbabahagi ka ng oras mo. Doc Mel, Doc Ray, bukas prelim exam ng iba sa atin. Or this week, rather. Ako, tomorrow may prelim exam ako. Kanina nagmamadali ako. Sabi ko, shucks, nag-check up ang father ko. Sinamahan ko. Umagang-umaga. So, hindi ako part doon, pero sinamahan ko siya. That's Kara, di ba? Generosity in my personal life. Tapos pagdating ko ng hapon, nagmamadali ako kasi kailangan kong mapa-photocopy yung mga prelim exam namin for tomorrow dahil may interview ako mamaya. So, nagmamadali ako kasi sabi ko, hindi, kailangan matapos ko to dahil may gagawin ako mamaya. So, yung time ko and yung effort ko, binabahagi ko because I know that kahit ilan lang yung nanonood or nakikinig or makakapakinig, kung sino man yung makakapakinig sa atin, alam ko in one way or the other, it will definitely make an impact to him or her. And for that, yun yung part ng advocacy natin 'di ba? Makapagbahagi tayo of our research, of a product of well-thought research to others. Kumbaga hindi lang naman siya kinonceptualize out of nowhere. It was a product of experience, observation, facts, and research.
Dr. G, with all your experiences in Kara leadership, were you able to encounter challenges? If so, how were you able to overcome or manage those challenges?
Usually, Doc Mel, ang tinatanong sa akin is, anong difference niya sa ibang management styles? Kasi may mga organization that when they invite me, about 3-day program or 2-day program about Kara leadership, gusto nila incorporate ko yung Kara in the management function. Kasi ang management function, di ba, generally there are 4. Planning, leading, organizing, and controlling. So sasabihin ng iba, lalo na yung mga medyo inquisitive, pag sabihin na natin inquisitive, inquisitive, di ba? I-label na lang natin to be profound about it. Di ba? Sabihin nila, bakit ano ang difference ng Kara sa ibang management functions or sa ibang management style? Okay, so nasagutin natin ng maayos yun sa kanila. Yun yung kadalasan na na-encounter ko. I don't consider it as something negative, but I always want to consider it na kapag may nagtanong sa yung gano'n, that person is interested. That's why they want to know. Kasi otherwise, they wouldn't be able to come up rather of that question kung hindi sila naging interested doon sa topic mo. 'Di ba? So, pag nasagot mo naman sa kanila kung ano yung Kara and you speak from the heart, nagiging okay na sila. Na-realize na, okay, kaya pala. So, yun lang naman. Wala namang, so far yun yung challenge natin. And also, yung misinterpretation. Pag sabi mong Kara, generosity, yung iba, parang napapaisip sila, pwede bang Kara siya pero wag mong sabihin Kara, ibahin natin yung pangalan. Oo, kasi baka isipin nila generosity, baka mag-as ng increase mag-as ng merit increase. Or kasi sabi mo generosity baka hanapin nila yung ganun 'Di ba? May mga iba ganun. So, depende yon sa organization, no? And usually naman mababait yung mga clients na nakakausap ko. And they love Kara because they believe in the value of generosity in the company. Yun naman ang kagandahan. Most of my clients are generous. And they are very kumbaga, an epitome, a consummate example of how to lead people well in the organization. And that's the reason why they're having that kind of intervention in the first place.
Yeah. Ang daming projects ni Ma'am G. Pag hindi raw po busy si Doc Mel, pwede po kaming mag-sideline sa inyo.
Sige, why not? That's Cara leadership.
Naalala ko po nabanggit ni Dr. Mel kanina that our college, our faculty is headed by 3 women.
Yes, narinig ko nga yun.
Meron
Doc
po
Burns.
Pinagkaiba yung impact ng Cara on men and women? May iba po bang impact?
Actually, Doc Ray, kung titingnan mo, di ba? We believe in gender equality eh. Di ba? Kasi pag gender equality, kumbaga regardless kung anong preference ng tao, kaya niyang gawin. Yun ang belief natin for gender equality. Of course, there are physical limitations. But when it comes to the mind and the spirit and the confidence and the opportunity, it has to be of equal opportunities for everyone. Now, pagdating sa Cara leader, yung nature, yung kumbaga yung behavior, yung nature ng mga babae, they are nurturing. 'Di ba? Yun ang advantage ng ng mga women leaders, yung pagiging motherly, yung nurturing sa organization. Kumbaga, without making an effort, yung iba sa kanila like si Doc Mel, I'm sure, sila Doc Evelyn, si Mami Ida, 'di ba? Innate sa amin, innate sa lahat. Even sa inyo, Doc Burns, 'di ba? Innate po sa atin yung pagiging Cara leader. Na sa aming mga babae, innate na siguro sa amin kasi nature namin yung ganun eh, caring, 'di ba, sa asawa, sa anak, or sa pamilya. Expected yun sa amin eh. Tama ba, Doc Mel? We wear several hats.
Innate sa atin yan, Doc G.
Oo. Nagtatrabaho tayo. At the same time, like ako, may asawa na ako. I'm not sure kay Doc Mel kung single ba si Doc Mel or married. Single ka ba, Doc Mel?
Single po.
Single, oo. Pero ikaw yung mother ng mga students mo, 'di ba? So in that concept, mother superior ka pa rin nila, 'di ba?
Mother po ng isang malaking kolehiyo, Dr.
Ayun, exactly, 'di ba? Ng mga students ng isang kolehiyo. So kumbaga, may kanya-kanya tayong realm na inaalagaan. Ako, mother din ako ng mga students ko. I don't have my child yet. Wala pa akong anak, no? Pero may asawa ko. So, inaalagaan ko rin ang asawa ko. Pero mabait ang asawa ko, Hindi naman siya alagain, pero mabait siya. Pero syempre, part pa rin ng pagiging babae, kailangan nurturing ka or caring ka sa family mo, to your husband and also to your children. And dun sa trabaho, kung sino yung mga nakakasalumuha mo and people you get to influence with because of your work, because of the things that you do.
Actually po, Dr. G, there are some questions po, no? Actually, there is a question from Dr. Evelyn Songko. How old are the volunteers in your organization, Dr. G? Are they mostly young?
Okay, doon sa company ko mismo, sa GLB, hindi sila volunteers. But dun sa naging respondents ng Cara, doon sa mga churches, yung population, yung sample population natin, actually, variety of age. Meron tayong millennials, Gen Z, even traditionalist. So, encompassing all generation range. Meron tayong Gen X. Pinakamadami would be millennials and Gen Xers. So millennials, yan yung mga nasa, I think, late 20s to 41. Diba? Ang Gen Xers nasa 40-ish. Diba? 40-ish. So yun na pinakamaraming respondents natin. Most of them, and in fact, even in the private organization, kadalasan ng nasa working population, ando doon sa Gen X at millennials.
Thank you, Dr. G, sa pagsabing nasa millennials pa ako.
Obvious naman, ma'am. Talagang hindi natin mapagkakaila nasa millennial po kayo.
Oo nga eh.
Dr. G, this is a
may kamukhang artista si Doc Mel eh.
Ay, talaga po.
Oo.
Ito po, beauty queen. So, Doc Jimmy, comment po si Dr. Fernando Pedrosa.
Yes.
So please allow me to read po. Actually, there is also a question here.
Mhm.
What makes CARA leadership far different from transformational leadership, servant leadership, and charismatic leadership? I guess you were able to give your explanation on that a while ago. By the way, as far as I know and I am aware of, the three of you, Dr. G,
Wow.
Dr. Mel, and Dr. Burns, dinamay kami po, are concrete examples of CARA because you three are really authentic. Oh, thank you po, Dr.
Thank you, Sir Nandi.
Thank you, Sir Nance.
So with your outgoing Alumni Association Incorporated President, Dr. Evelyn Songko, your services to others are really authentic, genuine. Mabuhay kayo.
Totoo. Si Mommy Ids din at saka si Sir Nance, syempre, kasama rin. At yung mga iba pa nating mga kasama dito sa Bridges na palaging uma-attend tuwing Tuesday, 'di ba? Kahit na maaga pa lang call time natin, nandito na sila hanggang matapos tayo ng 6 o'clock, nandito pa rin sila.
Actually, Dr. G, when you were mentioning about generosity, naisip ko si Dr. Pedrosa at saka si Ma'am Ida.
Opo,
Kasi Dr.
yes.
Pedrosa mentioned na, can you host this event on this ganyan? Hindi na ako nagdalawang isip, sabi ko yes.
Ang hirap hindi ni Sir Nance eh. Ang hirap hindi
Especially si Dr. Burns, no?
Oh.
Friend of mine. And then, nung tumawag po kanina si Ma'am Ida, reminding me of the event. And then talagang sobrang elated ako. Wow, from Ma'am Ida Tiongco, a mentor. So talaga pong blessing to be with everyone today and hearing you speaking of us about CARA. So thank you for the opportunity, Dr. G.
Doc Mel, Doc Burns, madagdag ko lang, no? Kanina hindi ko alam kung nabanggit ko. But in the study of Adam Grant, yung sa give and take, isa sa mga interesting highlights ng book niya, alam niyo ba si Dr. Adam Grant, ano lang siya, nasa 41 lang siya. Oo, pero he's one of the highest rated professors, Wharton professors of all time. Tapos best-selling book yung kanyang give and take. Ang sabi niya doon, usually ang mga givers early on in life, hindi sila kaagad nakakatikim ng immediate success. Pag nabasa niyo yung book niya, ang dami niya mga sinite na instances or specific personalities na hindi kaagad nakaka-achieve ng immediate success. Pero eventually, nagiging mas successful sila than a taker. Ang taker, mas successful sila at the beginning, pero later on, hindi na masyadong nararamdaman. Okay? Like for example, may binanggit siyang isang famous basketball star. NBA. Siguro kilala naman natin yun, no? Si Michael Jordan, 'di ba? Si Michael Jordan during his time sa NBA, Chicago Bulls, ano siya, one of the highest scorers. Kapag libre, shoot the ball, 'di ba? MVP left and right. If I'm not mistaken, 4 times or 5 times nag-MVP siya because he's one of the highest raters in NBA. And actually, ang comment sa kanya, may term kasi na ginagamit sa mga ganon, ng mga players. Pero pangalanan na lang natin, may pagka-taker. Diba? Scientifically, taker. Ang tawag sa ganon. Tapos, eventually, nag-retire siya. Tapos, in-invite siya na maging assistant coach, if I'm not mistaken, ng another basketball team sa NBA. Nung nag-assistant coach na siya, syempre, it's a leadership role. Iba ng hat ang mini-wear niya. Pag coach ka, regardless kung anong rank ka pa, kung assistant ka or the lead coach, iba yung hinahanap sa yung set of skills. Kung before, sanay ka sa limelight, you get all the praises, you get all the claps, the glitters, the glamours. Pag coach ka na, kailangan marunong ka na magparaya sa iba. 'Di ba? It's more of the nurturing side, yung guiding side mo, dapat yung nakikita ng tao para mas i-follow ka nila. Hindi siya naging effective nung time na niya na mag-lead ng group, ng particular group na yon. So makikita natin, no, na yung taker later on in life is not as successful as compared to a giver. Kumbaga sa sustainability, sa continuity, mas makikita mo yung success ng isang giver kasi nagiging domino effect Okay? Like for example, may sinite siyang isang personality na ng isang giver later on in life, paano tinulungan niya yung mga tao in his 20s, tinutulungan niya madalas yung mga ka-office mates niya. Tapos akala niya, hindi siya magiging successful. Pagdating niya ng mga 40s, nung nawalan siya ng trabaho, may somebody na nag-approach sa kanya, binigyan siya ng opportunity, nakahanap siya ng magandang work, and nag-fly ang career niya later on in life. So hindi man siya naging successful during his 20s and 30s, but in his 40s, yung mga natulungan niya during his 20s, bumalik yun. Later on, nagbigay sa kanya ng opportunity. So ganon. That's the beauty of giving, di ba? You don't expect, pero the ripple effect, it multiplies, and there's a possibility of it getting back to you, to the giver himself. So that's the beauty of it, of the Kara concept, as a culture, as a way of life.
Thank you so much, Dr. G. Dr. Mel, baka we are running out of time. We are nearing the end of our engagement. Pwede po bang magbigay po kayo ng inyong synthesis or summary ng encounter natin ngayong hapon?
Actually, bago magbigay ng message si Dr. G, kumbaga very basic lang, simple lang yung gusto kong takeaway. Yung past or last year, ang motto ng church is gifted to give. So that is a very good representation, I think, of the talk of Dr. G. No? So the Kara very well represents that we are all gifted to give. Pero yung giving, ang ganda nung lesson na yon is we do not give what we don't have. So may limit lang yung dapat na binigay. So ang gandang takeaway talaga for me. So that is also one way of saying that I am a responsible citizen kasi hindi ko binibigay lahat-lahat. At nagiging totoo ako kasi hanggang dito lang yung kaya kong ibigay. Right. And that is being generous of me kasi nagbibigay ako. And I appreciate myself as well because kumbaga nakikita ko yung worth ko as a human being. So yun yung aking takeaway for this afternoon, Dr. Burns. How about you?
Kailangan ko po yatang magbigay ng something na religious kasi baka hindi na ako imbitahan dito. I got reminded po of this encyclical, yung Fratelli Tutti.
Yeah.
And it is all about brotherly love or sisterly love. And yung generosity po natin, yung affection, yung intimacy natin sa isa't isa is being manifested on how we put value sa mga taong nakapaligid sa atin. And later on, and kung lalagyan po natin ng konting siyensya, Pierre Bourdieu, he put emphasis on the building of social capital. Na nagbibigay tayo ng nagbibigay without expecting something in return. But soon or sometime soon, pag tayo naman yung nangailangan, baka sakali na may magmahal din sa atin. And so that's my synthesis po, Dr. Mel.
Okay, so before we end, we would like to hear the final words of our dear speaker for this afternoon. May we hear from you, Dr. G?
Ayun, Doc Mel, Doc Burns, first of all, thank you for having me here. And to all our viewers, thank you for taking time to listen to our talk for today about Kara leadership for women leading the workplace. Ang Kara is actually, sabi nga natin, it's the art of leading with love. It's a way of life. It's not just something that you apply in the corporate world. It can be applied even in our personal life, in the way we deal with our children and also with our family, yung husband natin, and our circle of friends, diba? We can always exercise Kara, not just in the corporate world. Kasi kung ano yung i-reflect din natin, ano yung pa-practice natin sa loob ng bahay natin, for example, it will definitely reflect also what we will do outside. So kumbaga, Kara may not always be we may not always have that perfect Kara all the time, but it's a constant practice, diba? And an awareness of what you're doing. Kasi sometimes, diba, may mga moment ka na kailangan mo rin na mag-reflect. Am I giving too much? Diba? Or napapagod na ako? 'Diba? But ang maganda doon, kapag innate sa'yo ang pagiging giving, yes, there's a state of reflection, but definitely the state of action will come after that reflection. So yun lang po. Maraming
Thank you so
salamat.
much, Dr. G. Before we finally end our engagement po ngayong hapon, salamat po sa mga nanonood sa atin. And of course, salamat sa guest natin, napakadakila ng guest and sa co-host. And also sa mga tao behind, technical people behind this event. We also want to seek the blessing of the Almighty sa mga estudyante po na kukuha ng pharmacy licensure exam on April 10 and 11 this 2023. Yung second announcement po natin is we want to call on our UST Faculty of Arts and Letters alumni to join the UST-AB Grand Alumni Homecoming for an afternoon of learning, nostalgia, and camaraderie. The event, titled Stronger Together, is on Saturday, March 18, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Kalayaan Hall in Club Filipino, Green Hills. Seats are limited, so kinakailangan po natin magpa-register ng medyo mas maaga. We can send our email to AB Stronger Together 2023. Small letters lang po yon. Again, AB Stronger Together 2023 at gmail.com, or we can send a message to Choti Maniago and Jonah Manrique on Facebook. Congratulations naman po sa ating mga newly elected officers ng Alumni Association natin. Our new President Dr. Dwight Ramos, Corporate Secretary po natin si Attorney Maria Elena R. Enriquez, our Treasurer, Mr. Arnel M. Ocampo. We wish you all the best, and with God's blessing and guidance po, you will lead the Thomasian alumni community with kindness and generosity.
Yes.
Maraming salamat po.
Congratulations to our new officers.
So in addition po to what Dr. Burns mentioned, we would like to remind everyone to like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Facebook channel of the UST Alumni Association Incorporated. And once again, thank you, Dr. G. On behalf of...
Thank you, Dr. Mel and Dr. Burns.
So on behalf of the UST Graduate School Alumni and Grants Association, through its president, Dr. Fernando Pedrosa, we would like to thank the UST Alumni Association Incorporated Academics, specifically Team Bridges, for giving us the opportunity to sponsor the episode for this afternoon. Thank you too to the sponsor for today's episode, Mrs. Nilda Pedrosa Hernit, a former counselor of Palo Leyte. So again, please like, share, and subscribe to the UST Thomasian Alumni Community YouTube channel. So here at Bridges, we build bridges of people, bridges of knowledge, and new learnings.
Friends, thank you so much for tuning in. Mamela and Dr. G, maraming salamat po ulit sa inyo. Please join us again next Tuesday for another episode of Bridges entitled Easing Labor Pains, with our guest from National Labor Relations Commission of Dole, Commissioner Mary Ann F. Plata Daitia, who will tell us more about the NLRC's role in labor and management. Enjoy the rest of the evening po. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. God bless.
God bless.
God bless.